There's way more. It was way worse. How many pieces?
So good evening and welcome to the 2020 AIA Awards from El Paso, Texas. We are so glad to have everybody here this evening who's participating in this kind of historic event. My name is Wayne Hilton, and I'm very happy to be here representing both the architecture and design community in El Paso, but also as one of the city sponsors for the El Paso chapter of PechaKucha. So we have a lot of great folks that are involved in this presentation this evening, and we're so happy to be making this happen. I'd like to think that in kind of a challenging time that we're all going through, it's events like this that make it really special and monumental, and hopefully somewhere down the road we'll look back and these will be the things that we remember. So I'd like to take a moment and invite all of the panelists and participants in this evening's programs to hop on so we can give a warm welcome to everybody who's watching and being a part of this great event. So welcome everybody.
Hey, Wayne.
All right.
Wow, there's a lot of us.
What's up, people?
So in the spirit of keeping things rolling, because we have a lot of exciting things to get over and a lot of information to get through, I am going to hand the floor over to the AIA president of the El Paso chapter, Bruno Vasquez.
Thank you, Wayne. And thanks to everyone for attending the 2020 Design Awards Gala of the El Paso chapter of the American Institute of Architects. The end of the calendar year always allows everyone an opportunity to reflect on the achievements and the events of the year. And boy, what a year this 2020 has been. You see, I was actually trying to get ahead to the next year, get away with 2020, but the pandemic, continued cruel racial injustices, protests and riots, an unresolved presidential transition, it just seems too much to deal with at times, doesn't it? Despite the chaos, the selfish indifference of many, and the inability of some to come together and collaborate for the common good, I find it comforting that there is still order, truth, and collaboration in architecture. It's impossible to ignore a problem like the one caused by the coronavirus in the world. Our city is sadly the current epicenter of the pandemic. The disease has forced us to rethink the way we use buildings, and architects will have to adapt to the consequences of whatever becomes the new normal, including the question about how much architectural space will we really need in the future now that companies who pay real estate have adapted to employees working from home? Architects will also have to rethink the way our designs may contribute to endemic social injustice. And we will have to do all of this with serious consideration to the impact that the construction industry has on the environment. These are grave, challenging, but very rewarding responsibilities of an architect. We answer to the needs of the societies we serve, but I'm convinced that good architecture can shape society into something better. And that's what has brought us here tonight. We want to acknowledge great architecture. We will see some of the best work that architects in El Paso are capable of. These projects span from residential to commercial and from educational to historic preservation. And these buildings will become icons of El Paso's building catalog for generations. I want to thank all the firms that submitted projects for consideration this year. I also want to thank our presenting sponsors. Texas Lighting Solutions, a leading provider of light fixtures, controls, and professional shading products. Autex, a world leader in non-woven architectural textiles, which supplies a sophisticated range of products to the building industry. And to the rest of our sponsors, BPSI, Diversified Interiors, and Jordan Foster Construction. Thank you all for your continued support of AIA El Paso's event and for the support and expertise that you provide to our design community. Our chapter managed to put together a wonderful event. I want to thank all my colleagues in the 2020 AIA El Paso Board of Directors, Jorge, Eric, Martina, Jasmine, Pacelli, Paulina, and of course, Michael Stills, chair of this committee, and Bill Helm, both of whom were instrumental in organizing this event. Your leadership is hereby recognized and appreciated. Thank you very much. Finally, I want to thank our jury and guest speakers, Astrid Klein and Mark Dytham, founders and principal architects at Klein Dytham Architecture in Tokyo, Japan. Not only are they wonderful architects in their own right, they are also the creators of PechaKucha, a storytelling platform for creators of all kinds with events all over the world. The pandemic forced us all to stay indoors, but tonight, our speakers, sponsors, fellow architects, all of you and everybody else that has contributed to this event are going international. I feel honored to share this evening with all of you. Thank you very much for your attendance. I would like to introduce Mr. Matthew Walther with Texas Lighting, one of our presenting sponsors. Thank you.
Hi, Bruno. Thank you for that introduction and for that beautiful speech. And hi, everybody. I've presented a couple slides here for you all for your enjoyment, and I hope you all love it. So I'd like to start off by saying good evening and introduce myself. My name is Matthew Walther, and I represent Texas Lighting here in El Paso. Being a native El Pasoan, I'm very excited that I get to be part of the local architecture and design community as we all work towards the goal of beautifying our city and we continue to make it an even better place to live. It's no surprise that we have some of the best sunsets in the country. As the sun begins to set, casting its orange glow across the sky, El Paso begins to shimmer. Glass structures glow from within and multi-dimensional facades cast shadows on themselves, showcasing the drama of your all's designs. This drama is really what fuels my passion to create alongside you. Similar to a smile, the exterior of a structure is often the first impression one gets of a new building. When the sun goes down, great lighting is necessary to keep your design alive. With the help of Revit, my team and I are able to select the appropriate fixtures for the application and model the light on your design, showing you how it will appear at night. While the exterior may be compared to a smile, the interior of the building is where the rest of the personality really lives. Using photometric software, we can ensure that the fixtures you pick will not only look great in the space, but will be functional as well. What looks like a couple circles and straight lines on a black screen at the beginning can eventually transform into the statement piece of your design. Our job doesn't end when the clock strikes 5 also. When people leave their sleek and modern offices and head home, we want them to arrive and feel proud of where they live. Using the same photometric software, we can ensure that their community is safely and comfortably illuminated while providing them with unique and cost-effective lighting to make sure their home feels like their castle. Now, if you're like me and you prefer to spend your Friday nights watching or playing your favorite game, you're going to need a lot of lumens, hundreds of thousands of them. We carefully calculate the number of fixtures each field will require to meet the specific UIL or professional lighting needs, and we provide individual detail so that each fixture can be aimed precisely where it needs to be. The capabilities of light are limitless, but such a powerful tool requires a bit of control. A switch on the wall may turn the lights on and off, but that's old school. In the age of iPhones and Alexa, we have wired and wireless control systems that can communicate with building management systems, creating a building that is not only beautiful, but also very smart and efficient. With all this new technology, electricity is no longer all that is required to control a lighting system. Dimmers can now talk to fixtures wirelessly, and lighting control panels use Cat5 to tie into building networks. To ensure all of this runs smoothly, we provide detailed drawings and offer site support during installation to help contractors during construction. Now, as advanced as these lighting control systems have become, they unfortunately can't control a project's overall budget. And the two letters V and E have found ways to keep me up at night. Because of this, I always keep budget at the top of my mind when recommending light fixtures so that someday the people of El Paso can enjoy light fixtures with facilities with great lighting like these. While I've only been involved in the AIA for a year, I'm honored that I get to share this virtual stage with you all tonight as you present your designs and win your awards. I look forward to many more years of contributing and participating in this great association, as well as collaborating on all of your all's future projects. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Matthew. Great.
Nice 2020. Nice 10 by 20 challenge. Well done.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good job.
It's amazing how VE translates into Japanese exactly the same, VE, when we all keep
Really? I hate those two letters.
Thank you, Matthew, for a great presentation. Next, please welcome Mr. Tom Gage with Optex Acoustics.
Good evening. My name is Tom Gage and I'm with Optex Acoustics. I just wanted to share a couple slides with you all to get some ideas going through your head for designs. We are the leaders in designing, developing, and manufacturing acoustic products with sustainability at the forefront of our design practice. We work hard to ensure every, Optex product is contributing to a brighter and greener future. So these slides are going to show some projects that were completed over the last 18 months around the world. We are a global company. This project here is MediaWorks. It showcases our cube panel product and our quiet space panel. As you can see, the design firm that was involved, Warren and Mahoney, really got creative with designing the applications for this company. In the right hand, the center picture in the black, that's our quiet space panel. That's going to be our highest performing acoustical wall panel that can be attached to ceilings as well. But these are just to get you guys excited about things that we can create. This is Mercury Energy in Auckland, New Zealand, which is where we're headquartered, as well as Mercury Energy. They wanted a chandelier structure, but they also needed to treat it with acoustics. So we worked hand in hand with them to design and develop this specific baffle system and had lighting sit down through the center of it. It's a visual monument so that the staff will actually come together and meet for staff development meetings underneath it. The rest of that project has our composition wall covering in the booths and touchdown areas. This project is the Taronga Zoo. The ceiling baffles in this project were made to look like the backbone of a mammal, which actually serves as the backbone of the zoo, this building. So we developed it along with the architect and with the zoo to make it look like the backbone structure. We also did some custom baffles in the auditorium where this backbone will actually lead you. If you follow it around the curve, it'll lead you into the auditorium where we have our custom baffles there. These projects are all very custom, but don't be afraid of custom when it comes to us. Since we control every aspect of the manufacturing, we are not going to be VE'd out of the job, as we're saying. This is Penguin Parade. It's got our cube panel on the ceiling there in different planes. We worked with the acoustical consultant on that project. We've got custom baffles here. That's our Frontier system. And then custom cube panels on the ceiling in the boardroom. Just showing you all the different ideas and concepts that we can come up with and create solutions for your projects. This last slide is actually our London showroom that we just recently created. We've got the baffle system above the meeting table with the 3 pendant lights hanging through it. We've got our raft beam, which is a brand new product that in situ actually specified on a project here in El Paso. I think 2 projects actually with Chamber of Commerce and with the Blue Flame building. I just wanted to let you all know that if you have an idea, let's make it happen. Reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. That's so cool. Next, I would like to bring back Wayne Hilton, who will introduce our jury and guest speakers.
Oh, thank you so much. It is both an honor and a pleasure to be able to introduce the jurors of tonight's presentation. It was several years ago when we were in Tokyo at one of the PechaKucha powwows that I first got to meet both Mark and Astrid. And it really brought home to me the significance of their efforts of creating both a global community that touches so many people in so many different kind of realms of, professional creativity, etc., not just architecture, but then also to see their kind of passion and commitment to this like integrity of creating a builded space. And, that experience alone, not only getting to know them, but the other people that were in Tokyo at the same time who still in touch with, just kind of brought full circle the importance of kind of what they're doing and how it all kind of interweaves with itself. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce our jurors for this evening's program, Mark Dytham and Astrid Klein. Thank you so much and welcome.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Hello from Tokyo. We're getting up to 11:30 in the morning, and we've got our PechaKucha coffee on the boil here. So thank you, first of all, for inviting us to be the jurors for this year's awards. It's been really interesting, and we've been amazed by the diversity of entries and the quality of entries. They've been really, really amazing. We're running this through the PechaKucha format. For those of you who don't know PechaKucha, it's a show and tell format where you get 20 slides for 20 seconds. And the reason we set it up almost 17 years ago in Tokyo was to stop architects like us talking too much. And since then, we've realized there are many, many architects around the world because it's spread globally. But I'll be talking about that. So what we thought is, because we're going to be putting all of the winners through this, we thought that we would make a presentation to start with to introduce ourselves and tell you a little bit about our architectural practice over here in Tokyo, and also a little bit more about PechaKucha. PechaKucha means the sound of chit chat in Japanese. It's an onomatopoeia. So PechaKucha, PechaKucha, PechaKucha. You can say PechaKucha or PK, but it's not Machu Picchu, and it's not Projector Night, it's PechaKucha Night. So without further ado, why don't we kick off our 20 slides? So as I say, we have a day job and a night job. Our day job is running Klein Dytham architecture. Our night job is PechaKucha Night. This is one of our buildings called Ginza Place in the heart of Tokyo. It's on the epicenter crossing in Ginza, and it's called Ginza Place. It's a mixed-use building, but on this incredibly important corner. And it sits opposite the Wako building, which was the first building built after the great earthquake of 1923. And as you can see, we've tried to keep the proportions lined through. And we have a 7th floor cafe that looks across out onto the Seiko clock, because this is where Seiko watches started back in the day. So we design a number of projects, all sorts of different things. Everything has a really strong idea. And this idea is around a wedding chapel and the notion of a wedding veil. When the groom picks up the bride's veil for the kiss, this amazing 11-ton perforated veil lifts up. It has 4,700 holes, each which gets an acrylic lens and makes this veil pattern. And it's a wedding factory, really. And the weekend, there could be 6 or 7 weddings a day taking place. And in the evening, they use it for jazz concerts and different things like that. 20 seconds is quite long, yeah? So we're quite well known for this bookstore in Tokyo. It's always on the top 10 things to see when you come to Tokyo. It's nearly 10 years old now, but it was really the start of the renaissance of bookstores, and it's called Daikanyama Tea Site. It's about 6,000 square meters, 60,000 square feet of bookstore. The key feature is Magazine Street that runs all the way through the 3 buildings. So when you find the magazines on cars, that's where the car books are. So this is really like the content spine that runs through. It's been super successful. It opens at 7 in the morning. It's open till 2 at night. All bookstores around the world should be like this. And we're going to show you a couple of recent projects which have not been published yet. So this is a new hotel that was due to open for the Olympics, but will be opening on the 15th of January. It's called Toggle Hotel, and it's a really urban hotel in the heart of Tokyo. And it's bounded on one side by an expressway, and on the other side by one of the major cross-Tokyo railway lines. As you can see there, you can see the expressway on the top right, and at the bottom, you can see the Chuo-sen running across, where we picked up the yellow for the facade. But we thought the building should really speak for itself and be a billboard for itself from the expressway and from the trains, because millions of people go past it each day. There are 85 rooms, there are 6 different types, and there are 8 color combinations. So every room is different, and you can choose online which color combination you like. And it's a really great hotel for train spotting and for truck spotting, because some of the windows look straight out onto the expressway or the railway lines. So going completely different, an hour and a half from Tokyo on the bullet train gets you into Tochigi Prefecture, this really beautiful area with volcanic mountains in the background. And this project is called Poku Poku, which means sticking up in Japanese. And it's a fairy tale clubhouse. It's in a part of an existing resort where there are 2 major buildings, and we've connected them with this new path that runs through the greenery. And then a clearing in the forest, you find this clubhouse. The clubhouse is for kids, and there are many different activities within the building. This is where, if you go to, so the Rizanare Hotel, which this is a part of, prides itself in family vacations. And this is where the kids lose themselves for 3 or 4 hours while you can have a romantic meal on your own. So, but yeah, this has just been finished, and we're really pleased with the outcome of this one, yeah. So yeah, on to our night job, PechaKucha Night. It started in Tokyo as a one-off event in our art space called Super Deluxe. And as I say, architects talk too much. They talk too much all around the world. And that's why it spread from a one-off event to over 1,250 cities around the world, including El Paso. But this year's been kind of different. And by the end of March, instead of having 100, 120 events a month around the world, we had 0. And yeah, kind of worrying. But by the 9th of April, we'd pivoted gone online, and we started this campaign called Inspire the World, because there's so much creativity and positivity that comes out of this difficult moment. How are people solving the problems? And since then, we've held over 200 events online around the world. So we have a little bit of experience doing these events. But it's been really amazing, and El Paso's been a key part of that. So thank you so much for joining us. We've been developing this before the pandemic, but we're running PK Create, and we'd love you all to use it. Go across the website and find out. It's a simple way that anybody can make an online presentation, 20 slides, 20 images. You just upload, voice, and share. And it's perfect for business meetings, for Zoom calls, and it's even great for competitions. And this is the first competition we've run with the World Architectural Festival. And the theme was Isolation Transformed. We have over 250 entries, and we will announce the winners on the 3rd of December at the World Architecture Festival. And we've had some amazing judges. So Lord Norman Foster is one of the key judges, and Peter Exley too, who is president-elect of the AIA, and actually the person I first met at architectural school when I was 18 years old, and we've been best friends since. Peter also runs PechaKucha Night in Chicago. So, but really fantastic, and please look out for that. And we've also been running events with large organizations. This is with the Frank Lloyd Wright Conservancy, and we've run 2 amazing events with them talking about how to preserve the Frank Lloyd Wright buildings. Our first event had over 2,000 people online on a Zoom call, and we've just been a part of their annual Conservancy conference, which was great. And we couldn't be more happier to be hosting our first ever awards ceremony. And we're really pleased that we're holding it with you, Bill, Edgar, the whole team, and Wayne in El Paso. So thank you very much. That's our PechaKucha presentation.
Thank you, Mark. I knew you would be on a roll.
Awesome, Mark. Thank you. Thank you for that great introduction.
Great job.
Good job.
So telltale on what you're doing and the impact it has on all of us. So to keep things moving, we are going to move into our first category, which is the Citation Awards. So Mark, I'm going to hand it right back to you, and we'll keep on going.
Thank you so much. Well, we have 3 citation awards, and the first award goes to, hold it, wait for it. The first award in the new commercial category goes to MNK Architects for their famous Dave's franchise concept.
Yes, we very much like the famous Dave, because wherever there is red, that's where you want to go. And it has this nice jovial terrace. You just know you want to have a barbecue there with all your friends and family. And it's outdoors, so it's okay.
And indoors here from the photo, but we really enjoyed the graphics on the outside of the building. As Astrid said, the convivial color draws you to the project. So congratulations to you guys.
Well done.
Thank you.
So what happens now, Wayne? do we hand out any trophies yet, or William?
So there's no trophies for this segment in the citations. Okay. The trophies start at the merit award. So we keep on rolling to the next award.
Okay, we'll move on to the next award. I've got to find my drum roll. And the next award is, well, you have some long names for the architect. This is PSRBB Architecture in the new institutional category for...
the Isleta High School. I think it's pronounced Isleta High School. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
PSRBB Architecture.
Great job, great job.
And the reason we liked it is that it's picking up on, obviously, on all the bricks. And they have a beautiful, warm color, comforting, familiar. But not only that, it's also the interiors picking up having these beautiful patterned tiles and very sharp buildings that kind of pick up on the historic buildings, but also feel very timeless and contemporary as well.
Yeah, and it was
So-
a complex project. There are four, or it's
Yes.
interesting that it's an extension. This is the fifth building since it was built back in the early
1927.
1927.
Pretty
So
amazing.
congratulations to you guys.
Well done. Hang on, we have this one.
Hey, so moving on to our third and final citation. Let me just hit this one while we get ready. And it's new institutional again. And it's also the second citation for MNK Architects for Eastwood High School. Congratulations to you guys.
Congratulations. Again, very difficult to kind of make such a big place look welcoming and fun and inspiring. And so kind of picking up on the logo colors of yellow and blue and kind of just splurging it all over the place in not only the seats, the corridors, the outside facade. It just kind of brings it across. This is Eastwood High.
No, it's fantastic. And we're really impressed, and you'll see later with some of the awards that the focus on education in El Paso is really heartwarming and is really fantastic. So this is one of quite a few schools that we've nominated. So brilliant project. Thank you so much.
Forming the next generation. So important.
If I could say something about Eastwood real quick.
Absolutely.
Well, that project was amazing to work on, not only from the team of MNK, but also our client. We were teamed with, we were with DLR, and without the owner, we wouldn't have made that project a success. By far the best project I've ever been on, just from the amazing team, from the consultants to the client to our team here at MNK. So thank you.
No, that makes all the difference. We say without a decent client, you can't make a decent project. And I think everybody being in that pot together really makes for amazing architecture.
It's always an amazing team effort. So yes. Well
Congratulations again. I don't know if anybody else wants to make any comments. We maybe rush through a bit quickly. If any of the other architects would like to say anything in the merit category, feel free to jump in now.
Citation.
Sorry, in the citation. I was saying the wrong. It was merit category that we just had. Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, so
That's my
I'm
fault,
screwing this
sorry.
up a little bit.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in and just keep things rolling, Mark. So that wraps up our 3 citation awards, and from there we're now going to step into the merit awards. So now we'll start with the trophy presentations, Mark.
Very good. So drum roll time. And the first of 3 merit awards goes in the category of historic and reuse to Root Architects for their working capital project.
Yay, the
Yay.
working
Bravo!
All right. Thank you. I'm Chris Esper, one of the principals at Root Architects, and we humbly accept this award and thank you all very much for evaluating it. We can get started. This is an adaptive reuse project in Uptown El Paso, and when we found it, it was slated for demolition. It was actually going to become a Family Dollar. And we were really glad that we got there in time, because we, through the process of selective demolition, identified some very historic artifacts, both on and within the building. In 2008, it stood as a pretty much understated, factory or a kind of industrial style furniture showroom, but it had really great traits to it. This approximately 100-year-old brick facade structure ran through the building. And as I mentioned, through this process of demolition, we started to uncover these layers, really these historical layers that were present there. And we took design cues from the structure itself to drive the overall program and potential use for the project. We always knew we wanted to try and execute a multi-use, mixed-use project in this part of Uptown, which is right on the edge of downtown. But we had no idea in the beginning how we would approach it. So we, as a develop, design, build type of approach, took the building under control, and essentially started to envision what kind of an Art Deco of the Southwest might look like, or a fusion of different styles for this building, at least from the outside, and really peel away layers or look at approaching different windows as viewports into potential activity within the building itself. We wanted it to be a public building with a public use, so we looked at certain types of innovation, specifically as they concern office buildings, and we saw public, shared, and private functions for the building. And essentially, we propose a new type of workspace for the 21st century, being that a lot of people work virtually, and especially in time of COVID, remotely. But when pre-COVID and hopefully soon after we get through this, a lot of the way that people meet for professional purposes happens in cafes, it happens in restaurants, it happens on the verge of going to and coming fro, and in all these very dynamic ways. So we thought about containing all those dynamic ways that we do extra work activities, be they meeting, be they presentations, on demand, areas to pop open a laptop. And the driving force behind the aesthetic and the overall approach was new meets old. So this old building, once slated for demolition, that has historic qualities that we couldn't necessarily restore. How do we bring 21st century touches, but really with a focus on craft, with a focus on history, not trying to undo or completely cover up what was once there, but re-enhance it and reshape it for a certain type of future that we envisioned. We tucked part of the corner of the building back to create a patio, to create a zone that mediated between the public and the private. We brought components and programs such as restaurants, a cafe, meeting spaces, and again, all these layers are kind of visible from the facade and through the facade. Deep into the building, and during different times of the day into the night with our beautiful sunsets that we have here, we're able to highlight these certain unique moments that go on in the building. And this has certainly become kind of an activator for this uptown area, which was otherwise kind of blighted and relegated to the edges. We're bringing back a new kind of more true, sincere, from material aspect type of project that is accessible to all manner of professional services that we have in El Paso, and certainly for those who come and visit us for a short period of time for professional types of activities. The building is a private office building, but with a heavily public component. It invites the public into a coffee shop. It invites people, curious onlookers in, to potentially see what types of activity may be there and what types of service that they may want. And we're effectively trying to make this a living experiment for the future of work, and the way that work will continue to evolve to be one that has flexible types of programs, and again, showcasing it through this very careful, very crafted, conscious use of materials, true materials, steel, wood. Root Architects also took the approach to craft the furniture and the type of branding, and really had a hand in all of the various aspects of the building to try to tie, again, this idea of the new and the old together, all while trying to propose that as a new, as a future refocusing for El Pasoans and hopefully also for the region. We have a beautiful stock of buildings in downtown and on the edge of downtown, and we really took it as a mission of ours to approach this as something other than just demolishing, something other than just covering up or repurposing, really trying to make it a mission to have our history be alongside us as we envision an active and successful future for all, not just private office workers, but creating points of engagement among people, and ultimately try to better our downtown and our city and our uptown and create successes for everyone on many levels.
Wow, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Beautiful.
I really congratulate you on a fantastic project that not only is it interesting and beautifully how you've dealt with the existing building with the architecture, but also the interior design, also the furniture and fittings, and also the graphics, and they all come together to make quite a remarkable project. On top of that, you've got this notion of how work will be in the future. And I think having that public area within an office building, a coffee shop that people come into is really amazing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of very calming. I mean, you have a very, your office, I guess, it has a very nice sensibility towards combining the old and the new in a really beautiful balance. Kind of these that all that makes it really elegant and a place like you want to hang out more than, I think that's where we kind of like to work. It's places where we'd rather hang out and do some work as opposed to do some work and hang out later.
So it's very true. They call it this idea of a third place, not home and not work. We just kind of want to be in and let things happen.
And I think that's going to be the future. Working places are less and less looking like working places, but more and more, you know, that's a place where I want to be, where I feel comfortable. And so well done on that. Yeah,
and I think in today's, I'm talking too much as usual. That's why it's 20 slides, 20 seconds. But I think as we go on, as we go on, it's not just trying to find a place away from your office to go. It's actually a place away from your home, because if you're working at home a lot, you do need that quiet space, somewhere you can concentrate. So congratulations again.
Thank you. And
Edgar, do we go back to you now in this?
I was just going to say we couldn't do without our team.
Go back to you now, Wade. For the handing over.
No, I think we just well, no. So you go ahead and introduce the next recipient, and I hold up the trophy.
Okay. So let me just do the drum roll. For Merit Awards, again, new institutional. Yes. And they're having a great night tonight. So it's MNK Architects, one more time, for their Transmountain campus. Congratulations.
Hi, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Over to you. The 20 slides are yours.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. We are very honored to receive this award and to work on this project. Me and the rest of the team, also Judah Mata and Jennifer Countryman as principal. And I'm ready to do the presentation. Greeting, this is Angel Bataller.
And this is Judah Mata. We're with MNK Architects here in El Paso.
We will be presenting to you El Paso Community College Transmountain Campus Edition.
Now, both of us had the wonderful pleasure working on this great project, and well, we're going to share it with you today, and we hope you guys like it.
We are very passionate about this project, and we hope you enjoy it.
All right, so this project, it's located adjacent to the Franklin Mountains. So the Franklin Mountains, it's actually the second largest national park in Texas. So this place or this area is of incredible ecological and historical significance. And the challenge was to get breathtaking views without blocking the existing campus.
The original campus was designed by MNK architects. The addition continued the architectural language established with a similar use of the sloped wing walls. Our design blends with the surrounding and takes inspiration of the Jack Mountains, sloping plains, and earthy tones. The textured stucco walls combine with the desert landscape colors as they move from the existing to the new building.
So from studying the site, we then framed these wonderful views into the building. So then we created these covered areas that are in the exterior. They have these patio spaces. And that was the focal point for this project, where we bring in the exterior and the interior. So in these particular spots, as you can see here, we place a little bit of green space that would be environmentally sustainable. And then we put together the new building, the existing building, the views and everything. And we framed out these wonderful, really became like a wonderful picture.
The slanted patio leans towards the mountain, not only gives the idea of the slope plains, but also protects the patio from the weather and frames the exceptional views that you can see. The wood-like material is chosen. It was very durable and was used all throughout the building in the railings and the louvers and slats. And the color variation was randomized to get a uniform look. And we create a pocket where the ephes and the wood material are meeting on the edges.
So that material you're seeing there, it's actually aluminum. Okay, so one of the things that we're very proud of this project is that in lieu of a typical design that's, you know, just your typical corridor and enclosed spaces, we actually were able to integrate these collaboration areas within the corridor, within the main circulation of it. And we have different types of spaces, such as this one that you see here.
Yeah, this is more like a typical conference formal room, and we have different settings, you know, where we have collaboration areas or areas to socialize. You know, everybody knows that the more time students spend on campus, the more likely are to succeed. So we propose different kind of spaces to make them, you know, help them to stay longer.
Like this image you're seeing right now, that was actually one of the most popular areas in this project. It's actually very busy. And there was even a point where students are fighting to get a spot here. So this was one of the things that we were very happy about, that the space was used and people liked it.
In the regional campus, you can see that there is some like platforms that they were used for presentation, for displays, for events. And we thought that those spaces were working well. So we decided to incorporate that into our project with a new modern look, you know?
So like you can see like this collaboration space here, it's more of a focused area. So this is a space where you can have different size groups. They come in, they can have privacy, and then they have these large screens, outlets, internet, where they can have meetings and do their things. And then we try to add like bright colors like that tile, which helps, you know, awaken them and help them with their study.
So as you can see in this image, they are not the typical corridors, you know, this corridor widens where there are important features happening and it narrows where we want the speed flow to maintain. We have different ceilings, floors, lightings, different even storefronts for the fashion design display. And all this is made for having a richer experience through the circulation.
So actually right now, because of COVID, these wide hallways, they're actually an asset because they help with social distancing. But another thing is that we widened it and narrowed it where we had to, so it helps guide the people. So this here that you're seeing, it's kind of like a diagram showing how the light was coming into the building. So that was one of the things that we were really proud of, that we were able to key into the existing building, but still allow light to come in. And we were able to have the addition, have all this go on. So here what you're seeing is instead of having, you know, just walls next to a hallway, we actually put storefront inside the hallway so that you have the light going all the way through into these spaces. So it's almost like they're an indoor space, even though it's a hall.
Yeah, the campus is sunk into the side and it blends with the environment. You know, rather than trying to make like a singular statement, the design was in accordance with the landscape, with the mountain, with the interest for the site and the community, not just to stand by itself. You know, the earthy colors blend with the surrounding, and all the openings have a solar protection in order to ensure the best light.
Yeah, so one of the things we're also very proud of is that this project, one of its greatest assets is that it is really adaptable. So all the floor plans and all of the teaching spaces, you really can adjust it to the user. You can adjust it as technology changes. It's real adaptable.
Yeah, and the idea of doing this is most of the equipment and the furniture were on casters. So you can see all the tables. So everything could be rearranged just to make sure that on the center, you can have the main activity going on and everything could gravitate around.
Mm-hmm. So really the one thing that we're most proud of in this project is that the students were super happy, the teachers, the dean, and since they were happy and they were so proud of it, we feel that our purpose is fulfilled and that their vision has been delivered.
Thank you so much, very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for selecting us.
Bravo!
Congratulations.
Well done, really.
Well done. Beautiful building.
Yes, totally love the way this blends into the landscape with the earthen tone and framing the views and the colors inside as well. And I can totally understand how the students fight for their spot. You don't hear that very often, do you? So well done. I kind of again, it's these educational institutions are so important because it kind of teaches everybody, whether they are going to be architects or designers or not, that, you know, environments and interiors are so important for our well-being. You know, not of course our mental well-being as well, and therefore putting a lot of emphasis in how this fits into the landscape is really a must going forward.
I think we're so used to schools and institutions, education institutions being the lowest common denominator, with VE being the most important word. So again, fantastic. And I really loved how it blended into the landscape and was an extremely tough building in that sense, quite brutal, but extremely powerful. So congratulations.
Bravo.
So we're going to move on to our third and final category.
No.
Oh.
We'll have one more.
I said third and final merit award. Yeah.
Yes.
So here we go. So it's new institutional category, and it is Perkins and Will and In Situ Architecture. Congratulations to you guys.
Hi.
Yay. Whoa.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We are ready to go.
Okay, someone's got an echo on there, so I think we're probably in the same space. Yeah.
That's true.
One of you needs to fill your mic when you're talking. You can hold the space bar down when you're talking or something like that to open and close your mic. So then we won't get so much feedback. Okay, the 20 slides are yours. Over to you. We're really interested to hear more about the project.
Thank you. Good evening. This is Jason Chan. I am with Perkins and Will. I am the managing principal and planner for this interdisciplinary research building at the University of Texas at El Paso. With me is Edgar Lopez, principal architect with In Situ Architecture. And we are excited and honored to receive this award for our work.
Well, thank you, Astrid and Mark. I'm Edgar Lopez. Like every project, this is a team effort of many disciplines and workmanship. One of the key elements for the success of this project was the integration of the interior with the exterior. The landscaping played an important role the way it approached the building. A forest canyon in the protected courtyard creates its own microclimate. Pedestrian bridges and plazas promote interaction in gathering spaces. Native landscaping and salvage materials were integrated whenever was possible. Given the site abrupt terrain, dramatic alterations to existing topography was required. Even a portion of the building was sunken because of the terrain condition. During the interview to get the project, several schemes and studies were presented. But the design is a process of constant transformation of forms and a program. Breaking the building in several components or neighborhoods helps to fit the program in a landlocked site. The evolution of the building was not only dictated by the program, but the site, orientations, views, and many other elements. Collaboration spaces and social hubs were created at the knuckles where the building blocks breaks.
So the planning concept is based on 3 blocks of research neighborhoods in the vertical direction with interdisciplinary pods connecting each of the neighborhoods therefore enhancing collaboration throughout the building. These neighborhoods form a research city with the ground level connecting all the neighborhood blocks, forming a main street with connection to all the departments and disciplines. The level below that is below the main street is what we call the downtown, which contains the core facilities for specialized research, such as imaging and shared research equipment rooms. The main street level, as you see here, has shared amenities, including a cafe, 100-seat flat floor flexible auditorium, high-tech video conferencing rooms, visualization suite, collaborative huddle rooms, as well as maker space and an outdoor cafe setting. The upper floors here for the research neighborhoods have flexible labs, lab supports, and office spaces. They converge together in a plan at the connector where our partnerships takes place. In both plan sections, the building design is meant to promote interaction and cross-discipline networks. The research spaces have maximum transparency, allowing people to see others at work, promote safety, and research behind closed doors. The IDRB serves as a hub for convergence, a common space for scholars from all disciplines across the campus to meet for problem solving or engaging in creative ideas. The response to this unique program is a 150,000 square foot building that supports the flexibility nature of research teams from all departments and colleges. The building design is based on the need of the research project rather than plan for who will be using it and what it will be used for. The IDRB provides opportunities for researchers from different disciplines to engage around collaborative projects side by side in a variety of flexible, dynamic spaces.
The building is located on the western edge of the UTEP campus, setting to the Franklin Mountains and overlooking Juarez across the border. The UTEP campus is defined by this unique architectural style, influenced by traditional Bhutanese architectural elements since 1917. The IDRB follows the campus vernacular style with low slope roof, battered stone walls, and fortress-like fenestrations. In response to the unique planning model described before, large glass openings were provided at each collaboration connector to enhance views both into the horizon or inward into the canyon. The architectural vocabulary offers students, faculty, staff, and any users or visitors the beauty and serenity of the Bhutanese origins in a more modern state-of-the-art facility.
In 2018, UTEP was awarded the Research One designation as the top-tier doctoral research university by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. UTEP leadership had committed on 4 objectives that deals with performance, growth, quality, assurance, and efficiency. This project will no doubt contribute to research in UTEP.
This facility provides critical space for researchers, faculty, to address some of the society's big issues throughout interdisciplinary research, while providing new opportunities for student training in team research. This important new research facility will elevate UTEP research and training enterprise to a new level. As quoted by Winston Churchill, he said, "We shape our buildings, and afterward, the buildings shape us. We architects design buildings that will ultimately affect the users and also our future." Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. And many congratulations again.
Yeah, it's we can feel that was quite a challenging project, not only from the site, but also from the brief. And we thought that it was really well handled considering the complexity of it all. And we thought your fenestration and attention to detail, especially in some of the lighting we saw on the interior, we thought that hadn't been forgotten in the overall scale of the project. So we thought that was really, really well done project.
Yeah, trying to break down these big facades into kind of smaller parts and to create a lighter balance, I think must have been pretty challenging indeed.
We really thought that you'd really attempted to bring the scale of the building down. It had a very human scale at the entrance point. So well done again.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think we have to show the trophy, no?
Are you going to show where we? Sorry, this trophy.
Yes. So that is
most complex
wrapping
part.
up this section. So this brings to a close the merit awards. So if I am correct on my agenda, this brings us to our beer break. Is that correct? Yes. And group photo.
Very good.
Oh, well done,
Wow.
everybody. Yes, I'm going to unpin you guys. I want to, if you will allow me, I'm going to.
Well, first of all, Brian, why don't I introduce you? So this is Brian Scott Peterson over in Tokyo. He's our global dude, we call him, but he looks after all of our community around the world, along with Christina and Tomoko, Sean and John in Chicago. It's a really big team, but Brian's been instrumental in getting us online and holding these virtual events. And he really is the backbone of all of these live events. So thank you.
No, thank you, Mark, for those kind words. Is everybody having a good time?
Yeah.
I want to say, well, this is a different kind of beast. I didn't really think we've ventured a little ways away from our typical PechaKucha night. And now I have a much greater appreciation for those Oscars people who they have the four what do they call them, finalists set up, and then the award goes too, because I didn't really realize that we'd be cutting between this and that. And I want to say, I have so much respect for all of you architects, not being an architect myself, but being surrounded by architecture. I've basically picked up that architecture is a process, and I think tonight for me has been a learning process. And I know that I've thrown a couple of you to the wolves tonight by just starting your presentation. But I just want to say mad respect and thanks for rolling with the punches. And sorry for the little bit catching you off guard with maybe starting a slide too early. Everybody slayed it, so thank you so much.
So the idea of the beer break is 2 or 3 minutes to allow you to recharge your glasses or your coffee cups, but also a chance for us to do a group photo. So I think, is that the next?
Let's do a group photo. In traditional PechaKucha tradition, we always have a big group photo. I know you guys, Bill sent every time you guys have a great evening in El Paso. He sends me these great group photos from you guys. So thank you always for that. And let's get a good one of this. I found something out. If we do one of these things, our hands somehow turn into blobs when I get the screenshot. So I think it's like a freeze somehow. I think it's jazz hands or your thumbs up, whatever you like. And I think it's not the wave, it's the freeze. And I'm going to do 2 of them just to be double sure. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Yay!
One more. Give me one more. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. PechaKucha, AIA El Paso.
Thanks, Brian.
We're moving. We're getting there.
All right. Very good. So we should also say a big thank you to William Helm, who is our main contact for PechaKucha Night in El Paso. And I know he has a big team there with Wayne and Edgar and all the volunteers that help him put on PechaKucha Night in El Paso. So thank you so much for that. And it's always great.
And it wouldn't have been, if it weren't for PechaKucha, we would never have gotten to meet you and all the great people over there. So we're really, really grateful that PechaKucha made this a smaller world, even though we're all totally social distanced.
Yeah, it's been interesting for PechaKucha. We've become a much closer community because of COVID. We'd had events around the world that have been running for 10 years in different cities, and we'd never ever met the organizers. We always just corresponded by email. But because we've pivoted online or having hybrid events too, it's allowed us to drop into Kalamazoo and into Cape Town and into Auckland in New Zealand and be a part of it all, and how we can jump in to this event from Tokyo. Although we are in the future, it's tomorrow here.
Hello to the future.
What are you drinking in the past? We're drinking coffee in the future.
In the past, Japanese highball.
Oh, nice. How about a cheers? How about a cheers to a rest of a great evening tonight? My cup is disappearing in the virtual background. But cheers, everybody. Thank you to half of our presenters. To a second half, a great second half.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Astrid's just going to take a break for a few seconds. So we'll fill in for a little moment there. So very good. So we're really excited. This is our first awards ceremony. We hope it's the first of many, to be honest. It's quite good fun. Although it's quite a production putting this on. We have had several international Zoom calls, but it's all going fairly smoothly. Bill, have you got anything to add?
Well, first of all, thank you both, and thanks to Brian and Tomoko and everyone there who has helped put this together, because it really has been quite the undertaking, and we are happy to be the first to sort of prod you into doing this, and we hope that it actually is the first of many more AIA chapters that jump on board and do this.
Yes.
Well, especially next year, because it is kind of funny. So the first person that I ever met at architecture school when I was 18 was Peter Exley. And he was a Brit then, now he's an American. And he lives in Chicago and runs Architecture is Fun and runs PechaKucha Night Chicago. And then he was Chicago AIA president. And fantastically, next year, he will be the AIA president for the whole of the States. So he's president-elect right now. So I'm sure there'll be a lot more PechaKucha integration into their AIA hopefully next year. So hi to Peter if you're watching. So thank you.
Right, and then we're announced this year that we are going to El Paso is going to host the 2022 Texas Architects Convention, which is the state component of the AIA. So in 2022, we hope to have a big PechaKucha Night as part of that. And hopefully we can get yourselves and Peter out for that.
Sounds great. And Brian needs to come to take some photographs as well. And,
yes, please.
That's right. And I do want to add that we've now been doing PechaKucha Nights in El Paso for 10 years. We were, I believe, right around city number 120 of that 100 now. And they're always a lot of fun. If you have never been to one and you're participating tonight with us, we encourage you to become a presenter, present your projects at future PechaKucha Nights when we can all get together in person again. And hopefully in 2021, we'll be able to start doing that again very soon.
I noticed,
hey, Bill, let me chime in here. Mark, Astrid, well, Astrid's gone now. Brian, good to see you guys. I don't know if you remember me from, Bill brought me out there to Tokyo once and you guys got me super drunk and I was kind of sick the whole time. And then when we were leaving, Brian got me super drunk for the way back home. So it was all in great fun. But man, this has been, I'm pretty excited about this because when Bill first brought this idea up, and when he first had me present like 5 years ago, you know, it was probably what you get of a lot, like, what the hell is this thing? What are you guys doing? And who's going to watch it? And, you know, I couldn't believe that when I went out to Tokyo, you know, people were commenting like, oh, hey, we saw your presentation. It was really great. And you're like, wow, there's this actual international forum of people that can get together. It's pretty great. I want to applaud you guys for all the hard work that you've done.
Thanks, Rita. That's awesome, man.
Thank you so much.
It really is a force that flattens the world for all of us involved.
Very
We've
good.
met so many great people through AIA. AIA is amazing. I'm so happy to be connected to AIA.
Okay, should we move on to the
Let's do
second
it.
part?
Thanks for the beer break.
Yep.
Yeah, we have our sodas here, so we're
early morning.
Perfect. So on that note, we're going to circle back and begin with our next category, which is the Honor Awards. So Mark and Astrid, I'm going to pass the baton once again and move into our next category.
Okay, get ready with the old drum roll here.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, this is in the category, the residential category, and we're have great pleasure in announcing that the award goes to In Situ Architecture for the Wright Pottery House. Fantastic project.
Yay.
Very good, very good. So, without further ado, and this guy's quite practiced at this, I think. Yeah.
I've done a few. Let's go with the slides, Brian.
Bill, Bill, I don't know who's talking from In Situ, but the 20 slides are yours, and we'll chat after the presentation. Over to you.
Right. Good evening, and thank you again, Mark and Astrid, for serving as our jury this year and sharing the evening with us. I'm William Helm, Principal Architect with In Situ Architecture, and tonight I'm going to share the story of the Pottery House, which is located in Santa Fe, New Mexico, originally designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. In 2015, a friend of mine called to say he had just purchased this house in Santa Fe, designed by Wright out of foreclosure, and asked if I'd be interested in helping him restore the home to its original glory. And my dumbfounded response was, yeah. So the Pottery House is one of the few adobe houses designed by Wright. It features convex curved adobe walls organized in the classical form of a vesica Pisces, which is the mathematical lens shape formed by the intersection of two circles of the same radius. Coincidentally, it is a house originally designed by Wright in 1942 for a rural site on the outskirts of El Paso. Wright was commissioned by Mr. and Mrs. Lloyd Burlingham, who shortly thereafter hosted Wright in El Paso to visit the hilltop site they had just purchased. But unfortunately, as a casualty of the messy separation and divorce of the Burlinghams, the El Paso house remained unbuilt during Wright's lifetime. However, in 1985, Wright fellow architect Charles Montooth site adapted an enlarged version of Wright's original design for a site on the escarpment hills overlooking Santa Fe. As one of Wright's well-published circular designs, the Burlingham House was featured in the Unpacking the Archive exhibition in 2017 at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, celebrating Wright's 150th birthday. This occurred after the transfer of Wright's archive from Taliesin to Columbia's Avery Library. The Burlinghams were publishers of an El Paso-based Mexico travel magazine and first reached out to Wright in October 1941, requesting that he consider designing a house for their family. Wright responded to the Burlinghams' request in early December of that year and began working on a design that would be nestled into the brow of the Western Mesa Sandhills overlooking the upper Rio Grande Valley. The design was oriented around an expansive eastern view that captured El Paso's Franklin Mountains and the outskirts of West El Paso and Mexico to the south. In a serendipitous turn of events, my friend who purchased the house had been childhood friends with one of the Burlingham's grandsons and had frequented Mrs. Burlingham's home as a boy. Through meticulous research, I identified the original site Wright had designed the house for and discovered the pristine site was still owned by the Burlingham family. We established contact with Suki Burlingham, one of the surviving granddaughters, who shared with me that until his death, her uncle Atherton had held out hope for building Wright's design, and the family had thus maintained the property in trust for that reason. And in the Avery archive, I discovered that there was correspondence between Atherton and Wright to this effect as late as 1955. When Charles Montooth site adapted Wright's design for the Santa Fe site, he scaled up the house to over double its original size, rotated at nearly 180 degrees to face the western view from the escarpment hills overlooking Santa Fe. For the El Paso site, Wright had designed a circular terrace thrusting out from the living room to capture the views of the Rio Grande Valley. Bedrooms spilled out into a central court organized by the Vesica Pisces and taking advantage of indirect northern light, and the master bedroom open to a private exterior lanai. Wright implemented carefully considered strategies exploiting the use of indirect light and views while simultaneously protecting the occupants from the pervasive desert sun and the predominant western winds, but all of these were turned upside down by the Montooth site adaptation. To further complicate this reorientation, a Vesica Pisces opening was inserted by Montooth into the exterior wall of the lanai along the main entry approach to the house. To mitigate the effects of this reorientation, we designed 2 insertions into the project. On the first insertion, we collaborated with Santa Fe artist Greg Reich to design a privacy screen that fills the exterior opening of the lanai and a freestanding outdoor shower in the Vesica Pisces form, which occupies the space within the lanai. These pieces, fabricated from New Mexico travertine, woven stainless steel, and multicolored glass, complement Wright's material palette. Montooth's reorientation directed the view from the circular terrace thrusting from the living room towards the view of Santa Fe beyond. However, this western orientation situated the terrace in the path of the setting desert sun, resulting in an unbearable afternoon solar exposure for the living room and the terrace. To negotiate this condition, we designed a second insertion that is a tripartite of steel trellises organized by the radial grid of the living room and the terrace. Anchored from columns situated outside the original structure, the trellises cantilever back over the terrace at a precise angle that protects it in the living room from the setting sun while maintaining the Santa Fe viewshed. There's a unique plunge pool that was central to Montooth's design that is a circular pool which intersects the Vesica Pisces in plan. This pool features an entry from a private restroom inside the house and steps down into the pool with a pedestrian bridge that passes over this entry. We worked to restore the plunge pool, replaster, and its deck was replaced with an Ipe wood deck for comfort in the hot desert sun. The new deck was detailed and organized again by the radial plan of the pool to complement Montooth's design. Thank you very much. Arigato gozaimasu.
Congratulations. Well done. So well done. What a piece of eye candy. It's one can only be jealous to kind of being able to work with so many curves and colored glass and trellises and pools and round windows. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Architects have to be many things, but also detectives as well, I felt, right at the beginning.
Yeah.
As you tracked everybody down, including the site.
Yeah, so well done of the adaptation, and without overwhelming it, and really playing along within the rule book in a way. I think it also asks for a lot of constraint, I guess. But maybe the dreaded VE word wasn't so much on the cards, which was nice.
No, great job. And we're keen to put you together with all the Frank Lloyd Wright Conservancy team too, and hopefully you'll be a part of that. Our volume 3, which we hope is coming up soon. So congratulations.
Yeah, that would be great.
Digital Architects again.
Yes, well done.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's our first honor award. Our second honor award is in the historic and reuse category. And it is goes to, hold on. Where's my drum? It goes to Root Architects. Congratulations for their Abdo building. So
Abdo building.
Congratulations.
Yay. Sorry. This is where we go.
Thank you guys very much. Very much appreciate that. Yeah, we're ready to go.
Okay, so yeah, you're ready to go. The 20 slides are yours.
All right. We're going. Maybe we're going. I don't know. All right, here we go. Sorry, guys. I'm having a little bit. Apologies. I've been traveling. Get a good Wi-Fi connection. Seems like everything is closed everywhere, so it's trying to hang out here in my hotel room. But the Abdo building, we got an interesting project here. 100-year-old building located in downtown El Paso, originally designed by Henry Trost. It was designed to be a bank building, and situated in downtown, a block away from the Central Plaza over there. Some of you guys have seen in the images we've shown of El Paso, some of Henry Trost's great work down there. This building was pretty interesting because it was converted from a bank and office building to a residential building, and then back to a commercial building, and then back to a residential. And so the way that it worked was, currently they have the first and second floor occupied as commercial and retail, and then the upper floor as floors 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is residential. The building being this kind of tight, narrow, tall building, concrete floors, concrete columns, concrete walls, concrete everything, made it kind of difficult to retrofit as an apartment. So, we had all kinds of problems looking in the building. It had a couple bad property owners before that didn't really give it the love and attention that it needed. I mean, it was in some pretty terrible shape. But they did a good job not adding or taking away from it, which is usually the problem when we do preservation work, is somebody's come in there and cut off a cornice, done whatever. Here's a great picture of Trost and the team weight loading, weight testing the floors with their crew, and it held up. And sadly, we weren't able to restore you can see some of that boardwork concrete up in the ceiling and around the sides. I mean, the years and years of paint and neglect and hanging of conduit. And here's some of the pictures of the building as we got it, and you could see it, is just really falling apart. It had this beautiful cornice detail up top that was well lit, conduit runs throughout. You could just see some of the damage, the woodwork. They just so much work that had to be done. We had, for a project like this, the amount of work that we had from our structural engineer to give us details on how to restore the concrete. And the building owners on this project were pursuing the historic tax credits, which are also challenging because now you have a roadmap of what you need to do, and then you have to have an audit and supervision of it. But here's some of the pictures. You could just see some of the horrible state that the building was in. The electrical, full mechanical, plumbing was all a mess.
The structural engineer, but he never paid him.
Oh man, really? That's our boy Eddie Castle. Go ahead and send that invoice, Eddie. Actually, send it to Chris Esper, please. Here's some of the exterior photos coming from the sky down, and our team did a very, very good job of coming through and restoring this building. You can see, it's on one of the nicer streets in and around El Paso, and lots of tree-lined street right there. And so the work that we had teamed on restoring, you can see that they brought the cornice back to life. They did a pretty substantial job at restoring the window facades. I mean, the openings, did a lot of good work on the concrete. We hopefully you'll see next year, Bill and Edgar and I will be presenting on the building next door to it, or in the first the next couple of years we're storing next door. But you can see the amount of detail that we had to do on this building to bring it back to life and really help elaborate on all the good historic work.
Uh-oh, have we lost Rita?
I think we lost his audio.
Okay. I think we might have lost him. Let's go ahead and pause there for a second.
I think his Wi-Fi must have finally died out.
Could be. Well, hello, everybody.
Well, it's a lovely project.
It happens. It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
It proves we're live, Brian. That's the.
There you go. There you go. So I'm gonna, let's see. He's on. If I can just give him. He's on 2019.
We should make Chris finish his presentation.
Chris, do you want to finish his presentation?
I'll finish it. I'll finish it, even though it's his baby. I'll try. I'll be the surrogate parent to the.
All right.
There you go. Great. This will be fantastic.
I'm going to go for that, Chris. Just a moment. Here we go. I'm going to put you back a couple slides and maybe you can just kind of pick it up where you, let's see here.
Right.
Okay, Chris, roll with it. We're going.
So I think a big challenge for the project, and I recall this specifically, was the detailing, right? So it comes together as a series of, essentially addressing all the details that over time wore down. So we saw it in its crumbled state, and now all the, original trost lines of the elevation are lined up. We clad it in light, so it becomes this beacon, as it were, downtown. And we, in the sense, the historic tax credits, I recall, were based on exactly picking up on these historic details of the building. So from the cornice all the way to the inside of the building, the penny tiles that are here, the balustrade, the parts that couldn't be resalvaged were just plastered over, but there was a lot of care and focus from the owners and the architects and the engineers spent on making sure the flooring was intact. Some of the ideas of the original painting and the branding and the fluted glass that you see here are still very much intact and original. So I think it's really a hallmark to where it was possible, the care and the effort and the money and the attention was spent on those. And then everything else was really, smoothed over in a way and brought to this beautiful contemporary level where, and even in reference to the previous presentations, we're bringing this 21st century approach to what we could, while leaving the historic or the standard and the quality of what was historic there. Ultimately the building's function was a bank. So, from bank to a residence, it leaves these quite interesting, conflicting moments, right? And then you see new technology, new building systems come in, whether it be ductwork, whether it be conduit, new types of materials. So they come into the building, live alongside, the historic texture and the historic nature of the building there. But ultimately, it is a model for residential living downtown, where there really hasn't been anything in the past few decades. So keeping this old, completely different function of the building as a bank or as a secondary type of mercantile use. From the painted images you see here, bringing that into the residential nature of the building, I think are two complementary in a way and interesting, approaches to the building. So hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did trying to wing it for Red out there.
Hey, good job. Hey guys, it's Eddie. I was totally making a joke about Trost load testing that. And I didn't mean to imply anything in there and ruin it for you guys.
Yeah, no.
So please accept my apology, man.
No, all I got to hear was Rita complaining about how difficult this building was to do, and I'm working on working capital on the other end and paralleling. But nonetheless, we're glad to try to do some interesting projects downtown and bring these buildings back.
It was, man. It was a bad joke about the photo and missed times for sure. So Apologize, man.
I mean, it's so beautiful to kind of maintain the culture and history of El Paso in that way. I understand this is sort of a 100-year-old building by now, and it used to be the tallest one in El Paso, and therefore kind of putting up a whole lighting crown at the top. It's just such a nice little touch.
Was the lighting crown original, or is that something that you've added?
No, I don't believe it was original. You know, the city has done a good job in incentivizing lighting downtown in an effort to kind of
interesting.
But
it's really nice.
It was original. You guys restored that, but there were originally fixtures and all of the.
I'm not sure if it was on the cornice itself, but maybe. Again, those.
Yeah, and anyway, I think it's always really nice living in a historic building because there's so many stories, and that kind of gives it this instant warmth and
every fucking
comfort
I'm so sorry.
to the building. So kind of again, I'm sure that all the people who live in it right now totally enjoy staying there.
Yeah, and I just really, I mean, it's interesting, the optimism in El Paso in 1909 when it was built, this 7-story building, the tallest building in El Paso, you know.
Well, it was a bank.
Yeah, I guess so. But you did a really great job, and I thought the restraint was admirable as well.
Yes.
So it was a very well handled project. Somebody had asked in the questions how we judge this not being from El Paso. Well, we had a really as all the entrants know, we had their 20 slides. They were not voiced, so they could keep anonymous because we know one or two of you within the entrance. And then everybody had to give a fairly detailed description of their projects. And Astrid and I had a really great it was a pleasure going through them all. And we were really impressed with the detail of your explanations, and I think that really helped us judge them the way we have.
We still look forward to coming and visit them all once in person.
So for the AIA conference, yeah. Okay. So moving along to where are we now?
The third honor award.
Yep, and I've got to get my drum roll ready.
In the category of new institutional by Alvidres Architecture.
Yay!
Oh.
High school and athletic complex.
Bravo.
Okay, so without further ado, if you're ready, we'll allow you to voice your 20 slides. So over to you guys.
You know, thank you very much, Mark and Astrid, for your consideration. We certainly appreciate your professional opinion of our project. We'd like to thank our client, the Isleta Independent School District, and especially the superintendent that shared in our vision of this project. Are the slides?
They're ready to go, so we'll kick them off, Brian.
Ready, let's go ahead and get them going. Yeah, so the superintendent shared in our vision for this project. And you know, as architects, when we start a project, we look at a lot of different aspects of a site planning, the edge to a street, etc. But on this project, at one of our very first meetings that we had, we met with coaches, and one of the coaches shared a comment one of his students had with us. And I think that's really what set the tone for the design of this project. Apparently, a lot of athletic teams in the El Paso area have to travel out of town for regional as well as statewide competitions. And one of the students mentioned to his coach, this is a wrestling competitor, asked his coach why here in El Paso, why we couldn't have facilities that were comparable to other gyms in other regions of the state, as well as elsewhere across the country. So we really took that to heart. We started this project with that foremost in our minds, is that we wanted this project to be all about student athletes, students, and community. And what we ended up designing was basically a hybrid, translucent, transparent box that became a community icon, but truly celebrated as well as showcased sports. Our site is a very limited site, so we ultimately designed a 3-story building. The lower level, which is comprised of the competition court as well as the locker rooms, is at a lower level for a reason. And what we wanted to do, high school students have a tendency to cruise when they go to games. So we wanted to provide that socialization to the students without blocking line of sight of spectators. So this plan, you can see the locker rooms along the competition court. And then as we go into the main level, when spectators enter the building, all the spectators go down into the competition court. That allows students to cruise around the arena as well. And to further reinforce that, we introduced a collaboration area on the west side of the building for students and spectators to gather. The 3rd floor of the building itself is another competition court to accommodate not only basketball, volleyball, but gymnastics, wrestling, dance. This building can be likened to a multi-purpose university sports center. Even the locker rooms below, a very seamless circulation flow. All of the different sports locker rooms have graphics demarcating the entrance. This is the female basketball, both JV as well as varsity. But what we tried to do with this facility is to have fun, to celebrate sports. This is the lower competition court, and one can see a very conscious effort to connect interior to exterior. Of course, this is a nighttime game, but with the windows up above, what we wanted to do is provide an opportunity to inspire even kids in the neighborhood, that even on game night, they can stand at those windows and look down into the competition court and to see the actual competition. This is another view of the competition court. You can see the seating is all depressed within we call it the arena pit, but it's a very interactive building. We designed this building to, again, as I said, to showcase sports, but to showcase spectators as well. And it's very interactive. The students love the facility. And that was our goal, to make sure that this building was fun and it inspired students. Our trophy case, we took a little different tact on this, in that we created this Hall of Champions to pay tribute to former athletes that graduated from Bel Air that have gone on to represent our country in the Olympics and or have gone on to play professional ball, whether it be baseball, football, basketball. With this building, you can see the transparent glass connected to our translucent panels. The translucent panels being strategically located to accommodate our orientation. And then one can see the importance of structure in our project. With this upper level court, vibration is very, very critical. So this court accommodates volleyball, basketball. To the left of the slide is the gymnastics area. One can see the very large vertical bracing for the building itself. The entire 2nd floor is a full wood gym, has a running court, wrestling as well. The Bel Air High School, their colors are royal blue and red. And so this red wall penetrates all 3 floors of the building and serves as an organizing element for the facility itself. In the far reach of the slide, this is the dance studio. And what we did within this building, as I mentioned, we wanted it to be very transparent. We wanted to celebrate sports. We wanted student athletes to interact with other types of athletes, to where we didn't have separate studios. This is the dance studio that overlooks the panoramic view of the city of El Paso. This is one of our staircases within the building, and beyond is our training facility. Again, the building was designed to accommodate circulation, to let students be seen, to allow students to interact with each other, to create this very interactive building. And of course, we wanted this building just to come alive at nighttime, to serve as a beacon to the community, to where not only the students, the student athletes, staff, coaches are proud of this facility, but the entire community at large is. And this building truly is becoming an icon. Gymnastics is a big part of the Bel Air athletic program. And I think this image really speaks to our entire design concept. Our goal was to inspire students, to get students to begin to believe in themselves, to have confidence, but to think beyond what we're all used to. And I think that image, basically, I think we're all familiar with it, where spirits soar. That's what this project was all about. And again, we thank our client, we thank our contractor, Bain General Contractors, our staff, Jose, Ivan, our entire studio, all of our consultants. This was a fantastic project, and it's a project we're very, very proud of. And I think the Bel Air community is very grateful that we partnered with them to create this legacy building. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much.
Great job.
What a perfect kind of example of a building that blends the neighborhood with the function. Am I echoing somewhere?
So we just keep going. No, it was a really lovely project, and the way it integrates the community, the way it's a beacon, how it, you know, you've also thought about how it acts at night too. Yeah. And it's also very relaxed in terms of its architecture. It's sort of the way you've put the functions together. It sort of speaks for itself. There's no sort of style implied, which we really liked.
Yeah, I think the nicest thing is that anybody from the neighborhood can kind of just drop in and have a look, and without disturbing really, but being actually part of what's happening. I don't think many buildings achieve that so successfully by being so transparent all the way through.
And I think it's a thing we need to think about as architects in the future, building buildings which are open, whether they're offices like that earlier project, which are open and the community can interact to them instead of saying, you can't come in, this is private. I think that you are building in a community, and you should, as a basic principle, allow them to be public. I know there's all sorts of security issues and many things, but we have to work around that. And as architects, we need to lead that.
Yes, Mark has magic tricks in his pocket.
We'll talk about that.
He'll tell you later.
Sounds good. Well,
okay.
Thank you. Really.
Project. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So I want to just take a moment to, bravo.
Yay.
So as we move into our last category, I just want to take a moment to thank Mark and Astrid again. We're so honored to have you. And, you know, I would like to circle back to what Astrid was saying earlier. How amazing is it that through PechaKucha, we were able to establish this just kind of relationship and community with you in Tokyo. And, you know, again, I think this is a topic that we circle back to all the time, but through PechaKucha, how great it is that the world has become a smaller place. And I think we see that all the time with our interactions. And I touched on this briefly earlier, but, you know, the people that we met when we were in Tokyo that we have remained in touch with, and it just, you know, we feel like we have friends all over the world now, and it just makes it really special. And thank you. And just building community through PechaKucha, building community through architecture, and all the things that we recognize that are important to us all. So, you know, thank you guys again for doing this. And we are truly grateful. We are so grateful. So thank you all so much. No, absolutely.
If it weren't for the people, there wouldn't be PechaKucha. So it works both ways around. So thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you. So this leads us into our final category, which is the jury prize. So Mark and Astrid, once again, I hand the baton off to you.
Okay, so I'm going to make the drum roll here.
Dun, da, 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 dun. Hi, and the jury prize goes to the in situ architecture
and Cooper Carey.
Yes.
For the Plaza Hotel Pioneer Park. Congratulations.
Yay.
Thank you. I think we have Bob.
And Wayne is holding up the, Wayne is holding, why don't you talk, Wayne, and you might come full screen there for the trophy. They're fantastic trophies. They just arrived apparently in the nick of time. So maybe Wayne, if you talk a little bit, you might come front center there.
Okay, here we go. There it is. And we have our third and final trophy, a unique design for the jury prize. There it is.
Very good. Very impressive. Okay.
Awesome.
So who will be
presenting?
Who's presenting?
I will present. And
Okay.
also with this is Bob Neal on the call. He's the principal architect with Cooper Carey, the architect of record.
I just wanted to say that we were completely, it was absolutely anonymous, these awards. We had no idea, and there was no internet searching either on our side. So it was been really interesting how this has all panned out.
Yes,
so,
they were very objectively judged by.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We got some audio issues.
Whoops. Mark, it's lost your audio. Maybe come back to click on, maybe you accidentally pressed the mute button, or what happened there? No, it doesn't look like that.
It's not showing mute. It's not reading mute.
That's right. Did your wire come undone? Let's see here.
Brian, how's that?
There we go. Yeah, sounds good.
There we go.
Don't know what was going on there.
The technology gremlins.
They're all good. Okay, 20 slides are yours, Bill.
All right, we're ready. So I'm back and we're ready to start the slides anytime, I think.
Yeah. What's going on here? Just a moment, folks. Our crutch moment here. There we go.
So as I was saying before, Bob Neal is also with us this evening. Bob Neal's a principal architect with Cooper Carey. And I'll start by saying, since our founding at In Situ, we've specialized in historic rehab with a focus on the revitalization of our beautiful downtown. And there's no project we're happier to be a part of than Plaza Hotel Pioneer Park. In the fall of 2016, we began assisting the owner and Jordan Foster Construction in assembling the design build team to complete the project. And the design lead and architect of record that we had the pleasure of partnering with is Cooper Carey. Originally built in 1930 as one of Conrad Hilton's first high-rise hotels, the hotel was the last major downtown project designed by Henry Trost before his death. And the hotel literally sits on the founding point of El Paso in Pioneer Plaza, where El Paso Street and Mills Street began to form the first street grid served by Anson Mills. But 100 years prior to its construction, Don Juan Maria Ponce de Leon, a descendant of the Spanish explorer and conquistador, built his ranch and associated adobe structures at the site. Ponce de Leon was a wealthy merchant, farmer, and rancher in the thriving community south of the Rio Grande. When Conrad Hilton announced the construction in the fall of 1929, the El Paso Hotel was to be the tallest Hilton built to date. And as construction picked up pace, contractor Robert McKee's crews formed and poured 10 stories of concrete in just 2 months. Fast forward 61 years, and what is now known as the Plaza Hotel had finally succumbed to cascading code issues and closed to business in 1991. The building would sit mothballed for nearly 25 long years before we would begin to prepare it for a new generation of guests. The design team began by poring over a collection of period photographs and newspaper articles from the hotel's opening. These described the details of the 1930s space, as well as offered clues about the materials, fabrics, lighting, and furniture first used at the plaza. These historic resources provided design inspiration when choosing a palette of rich walnut wood, velvet, and mohair fabrics, warm brass, metals, and hand-tooled leather that were brought into the interior design of the bar and restaurant. Working closely with the National Park Service and Texas State Historic Preservation Office, the team aimed to maintain as many of the authentic elements in the hotel as possible, including precast deco reliefs, signature terracotta medallions, and vintage hotel signage. At the interior, this began by reinstating the double height lobby that was capped during a previous renovation, to bring back this grand entrance as the heart of the building. The faux wood vigas and the double height vaulted ceiling were artfully restored, carefully replicating the original colors and stenciling. Striking original elements like the terracotta floor on the first floor and the ornate plaster ceiling and parquet wood floor at the ballroom were restored. In the lobby atrium, the stained glass ley lights were reconstructed to match the original components. To position the hotel as a destination for the next generation, the 131 guest room suites are organized in a vastly different way than they were in the past, now offering a variety of guest room options that include kings, double queens, and floors that can be configured into multi-room suites. To maintain authenticity, the design team worked with the historic preservation offices to keep all the original wood trim on windows of the guest tower, in addition to reinstating the historic wood-based profiles on exterior walls. With food and beverage components often central to creating a destination hotel these days, the Johnson studio at Cooper Carry configured the bar at Ambar Restaurant as an anchor to the atrium. The focal point being a 40-foot tall tequila bar behind a sheath of amber glass and polished stainless steel holding the state's largest tequila collection. A new staircase is partially concealed behind this bar in amber glass, providing server access to the wall of tequila and secretly connecting the bar and restaurant down to a private chef's table located in the former trunk and boiler rooms. At the penthouse level, where Elizabeth Taylor famously lived during her brief marriage to Nicky Hilton, here the Johnson studio at Cooper Carry took creative liberty with the conversion of the penthouse level into a rooftop bar and event space. As a nod to the glamorous actress and Hollywood's golden era, guests are greeted by a feminine sensibility that plays out through elegant white marble, mirror polished stainless steel, bright colors, and playful geometric patterns. And this all occurs in what Conrad Hilton referred to as the bungalows in the sky. With fantastic views of the El Paso skyline and mountain vistas over the border to Mexico, the 17th story patio here features tiered seating, built-in planters, to create semi-private areas with plush seating that beckons patrons to enjoy themselves and stay a while. Now the Plaza Hotel Pioneer Park once again provides our region with an unparalleled level of hotel service. With the Plaza's rebirth, it has reignited the heartbeat of the city at the very place where the city was first founded in Pioneer Plaza. In the words of Conrad Hilton when he first opened the hotel in 1930, it is the very zenith of our aspirations to give the finest hotel in all of the great Southwest. It bespeaks our faith in the great future of El Paso and its vast domain. So on behalf of Cooper Carry, Jordan Foster Construction, and Franklin Mountain Investments, the owner, I would like to thank Astrid and Mark for serving as our jury in consideration of all of our chapter's entries this year. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Cooper Carry.
Congratulations again. I mean, it's such a grand building. And again, it totally deserves all the attention and dedication and commitment that you probably have given it to the restoration over I don't know how many years, may I ask?
How many years, what?
How long did it take to do this project?
Oh, 4. We started in 2016 and it opened earlier this year at the beginning of the summer in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh
yeah, no.
I think for those of us who are not architects and in the people listening, you know, it only takes 9 months to make a baby. We kind of grow our babies over 4 years. This is so amazing, but so rewarding as well. I think every minute is totally deserved that goes into the research and the execution, and then all the pleasure that comes from it is just boundless.
Yeah, no, we game with all good PechaKucha Nights has a bit of a theme, and there's this theme of detective work too. It was really interesting to hear about how you researched all the materials, but also that story about the Hilton, Elizabeth Taylor. It's all
the tequila bar.
The tequila. That's why it actually won.
That kept the 4 years going, maybe. I don't know.
No, we just thought it was
tequilas. Yeah, so it
was very elegantly researched and detailed and made.
Yeah.
It was really lovely. And I think hotels like this are going to become quite important with the pandemic, because I think people are going to look about travel in a different way. And I think you visit your own city and you visit this hotel and you're a part of the city and you don't have to leave, And so I think that's important. There's this very close type of tourism which can go on.
Staycation.
Staycation, workation, but it really is changing, and people are beginning to discover their own towns and their own cities. So
Or
I think
the
this,
neighborhood, the neighboring city.
So yeah, congratulations, and we hope it takes off next year as things hopefully get a little bit easier for everybody. So a great project. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add here, we sprung, so everybody pre-recorded their presentations, and we want to thank everybody for doing that. And you can see them all across on PechaKucha.com. If you go across there, there's a top red banner which will lead you to all the presentations which are pre-recorded. But we sprung on the presenters yesterday the fact that they would have to make their presentations live today. So as a way to encourage people, we said there'd be a PechaKucha prize, which will be a PechaKucha t-shirt and a PechaKucha mug, which I've put behind me. So you'll be getting one of these in the post from us. And we'd like to award that today to the Working Capital Project. They're all our crib notes here. So I'm going to say congratulations to them for a really lovely presentation. I've got to find the name of the architects here. Working Capital is Root Architects. So it was a really lovely presentation, and we thought the way you described the whole project in such detail was fantastic. There was a very nice energy to your live presentation. Thank you very much. So our PechaKucha award goes to Root Architects.
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, so we've really enjoyed doing this. I think we're handing back to Wayne. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have a little time for a little Q&A. There was, I think there wasn't too much Q&A in the chat room here. There was one question which Mark addressed earlier. There was also a question about how Mark and Astrid ended up partnering together. Why don't you ask that, and then I think we can open up if anybody has any questions or comments.
We'd rather not go into that.
Okay. Just say that I grew up in the biggest new town in the UK called Milton Keynes, and it was based on, believe it or not, Frank Lloyd Wright's Broadacre City, and a lot of architects came over from Chicago, from SOM. In fact, they'd all worked for me, so then they went to SOM, and then they came to the UK, and there was a big influence there. That took me to Chicago, and that also took me on to Japan. Everybody said you needed to go to Japan. Astrid we both met at the Royal College of Art in the UK. Astrid was fortunate enough to win the Richard Rogers Travel Scholarship, and I won this Milton Keynes Travel Scholarship, and we came to Japan together. And we worked for Toyo Ito for 2 or 3 years before setting up our own practice, and we're business partners. There you go. That's so.
That answers the question.
That answers the question. I hope. Together for 30 years. We're not married, but we tend to sound like an old married couple in meetings. So.
I wanted to say that that Chris Esper at Root Architects deserves the PechaKucha Award double for stepping in for his partner.
That's an honorary mention. Honorary mention for sure.
Only if he gets to hear you guilt him for that. That's
Oh, don't you worry.
He'll get it later. Thank you. And really, thank you.
We're at the 2-hour mark. I think, does anybody have any questions or comments for any of the other presenters before we move on to,
So on that note, I'd just like to take a brief moment to thank everybody again, thanking Mark and Astrid for being our jurors and helping us to kind of facilitate the evening. And to wrap things up, I'm going to hand it back over to Bruno Vasquez, president of the El Paso AIA chapter. And thanks again to everybody.
Thank you very much, Wayne. Thank you, everybody. It's heartwarming to see all the collaboration. I heard somebody say how this platform flattened the world, if only for a night. And boy, what a remarkable list of projects. As I said earlier, they are now and forever part of what makes the city of El Paso. When you hear the name of any city in the world, you'll most likely think of the representative buildings in that city. These projects and the architects that designed them will proudly represent our city now. People often hear me say, design matters. After tonight, I'm going to have to say, design matters, but great design is indispensable. It is my sincere wish that these projects inspire us all, not just us architects to continue creating excellent work, but also the decision makers in public and private leadership positions to hire local architects for their projects. I think it's evident that the talent, the passion, and the commitment to their clients was on full display tonight. Wouldn't you agree, Wayne?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love your reference to, looking local for resources and design inspiration, because who knows our community better than, the community that lives here, the community that's engaged, the community that continues to activate what's going on around us.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. So Brian, I think that's a wrap. Yes.
That is a wrap. Well done, everybody.
That's a wrap. Good job, everybody.
Yay! One last round of applause from our sound machine.
Thank you, of course, to all the audience.
Well, thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you for the awards ceremony in 2021. Mark, Astrid, all our architects from Bill, Bruno, and everybody.
And in person in 20. When is the AIA? 2022.
2022.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll see you
All
there.
right.
Okay, for Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So long, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks to all our webinar attendees, too.
Bye.
Great.
Bye.